Hello, in the month of September, Triumph Audio released 4 free virtual instruments available within the full version of Kontakt. Now, we've already checked out Gorilla Toy Piano, and in this video we're checking out their 3 other free releases. Bit of a tongue twister, that one, but they are Trumpet Terror, Alien Transmissions, and Nightmares from Ghost Ukelin. And you've got to sign up to their mailing list in order to receive codes to get these, but it's well worth it, in all honesty. They are a little bit different, not what I would call bread and butter, but they might add something to your pieces. Anyway, let's jump into the full version of Kontakt and check these out. So we'll start with Trumpet Terror. Now, when you download these, you do get several different patches broken up into authentic and processed. Specifically with this one, Trumpet Terror, you have 3 authentic, those being, well, the first one being Trumpet Tonal Effects Key. So a range of weird and wonderful trumpet effects. Next we have Trumpet Effects Menus TRP Key. So some fun effects, and you'll note if I press a different key down here, it changes the tonal center of the effect, which is nice. So you get some funky effects which could work nicely with other brass libraries you have. Finally, on the authentic side, you have Trumpet Distorted. So some weird and wonderful sounds, and again you can change the tonal center. I really do like that. I think that makes it so much more usable. A lot of libraries you'll see all the different effects, but you can't easily transpose it and change the tonal center. That adds that whole other layer there. Now you'll notice with all the libraries you have the same UI. They use it throughout all the different products, but essentially it gives you a range of effects. You might not be able to utilize all parts of this plugin. For example, this layering system, you'll notice there's only one layer with these patches, but nevertheless worth exploring. I do dive deeper into this engine when I reviewed one of the other libraries. Again, I can leave a link to that somewhere else. Let's continue with these sounds. So onto their process ones within this freebie. This is where you get more drone like effects, and it might be worth messing with your attack, decay, sustain and release. Right, we're not going to have time to show you all, but in total in this processed bundle you have 20 different effects, and that was one of them. We're going to skip down slightly, go on to processed evil dark bends. Horror March. And one more process. They do have some pulses as well. This is definitely one I'd say is a gem amongst them. It's definitely something different. Now moving on to their pulses. Pulse Evil Dark bends. Utilizing their rhythm engine, as you can see. Pulses Terror Time. Definitely creates some interesting effects when you hold chords down there because it arpeggiates it, but that's changing the tonal center. Anyway, that's a quick taster of what to expect with Trumpet Terror. Now we're going to move on to our next one, which is Alien Transmission. This one you have 3 different folders: tonal, atmosphere, and pulses. Starting with our tonal. Sounds almost like the rhythm engine's going, but that's actually baked in. That's a really cool effect, but that's Bass of War. Next we have Electro Drone. Really cool stereo effect. This company has a way with experimental sounds, in all honesty. I absolutely love how unique and creative they get. Now, Future Mood bass. Almost sounds poppy, that one. Future Pad. Growl bass drone. Sounds like it's coming from the middle of my head. Moon Lush Pad. Really nice variety within this library. And last but not least, within our tonal folder, Tune In Pad. That's one to put headphones in and close your eyes and it just takes you to somewhere else. Again, I'm loving how unique and creative these are. So that's tonal. Moving into our atmosphere folder. Again, we'll just quickly skip through some of these. Again, emphasis on the variety and uniqueness of the sounds, something different that you won't find anywhere else. Moving on to our pulses. And of course you can go in and really mess with that if you want as well. There we have it. I'll skip down a couple more inside the box. If I was composing an acousmatic piece, this is definitely a library I would reach for. And nuclear distorted pulses. Now, that should give you a good taster of what that freebie provides you with, but still worth downloading and checking some of those out for yourself. Moving on to Nightmares, this library is broken down into several folders: Polished and Pitched, Atonal Horror, Drone, Subpont, Swarm, Process Patches, and Engine Process. This is based on a string library essentially, but let's start with our Polished and Pitched. We've got 3 different instruments. Great for your horror music. We've got bowed tremolo as well. I feel that would work actually quite nicely for a more tense scene underneath some bread and butter strings that you use every day. Last but not least, plucked medium. It's quite a nice patch actually. I like that one. Atonal and Horror, as if those weren't horror-ish already. Again, some weird and wonderful effects that you can change the tonal center of. Plucked Horror short menu. And again, you can change the tonal center. You do have 4 or 5 patches within that folder. A couple of tremolos and the menu, which we checked out in the Hellscape, so definitely worth downloading to check out the rest of those. Now moving on to some drones, you've got 2 patches within this folder. Definitely some interesting drones. All right, Subpont, you've got again 2 patches in this folder as well. And a soft, high and dry Subpont. Moving on to our Swarms. One where you can change the tonal center as well. Two more folders to go. Processed patches, you've got quite a few in here. Bend in octaves is that one. We'll look at 2 more from this, but you do have a total of, I believe, 7 patches in that folder. So if you like your weird and wonderful effects, this library might be just for you, especially if you have the full version of Kontakt. I'd say definitely if you have the full version of Kontakt, they're worth checking out just to see if there's anything that you might use. Now this is moving on to our engine processed folder. And again, I feel that gives you a good taster of what you can expect from that library as well. Now, just to give you a rough estimate of how big these files are, this is only taking up 1.3 gigabytes, and that's all 3 of those libraries. So they're not massive, they're pretty small, and again require the full version of Kontakt. If you're interested in your effects, if you do drone work or ambience or some weird effects or horror stuff, these libraries I feel would be perfect for you. They're definitely different, but they're free. Can we really complain? That gives you a good taster. But what do you think of these sounds? Are these something you feel like you're going to be using? But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.